Hello everyone. So today what we'll be doing is we'll be solving paper 1, which is of May 2024, and we'll be solving the questions set like step by step, and we'll discuss the solutions. Okay, so this is of paper 1 which we are doing right now, and the paper is AAHL. So this is the paper of May 2024. So let's discuss the first question of paper 1. Okay, so the question is of 4 mark, and the question states that you have to solve tan of 2x minus 5 degrees equals 1, where x should lie between 0 and 180 degrees. Now you have the range value for x between which your value of x should lie. So we have to solve this equation. Okay, so let's first solve the basic tangent equation that has been given to us. Now we know that tan of theta equals 1 when tan of theta equals 1 when theta equals 45 plus 180 degrees multiplied by k. So we know that tan theta is equals to 1 when theta will when theta will take the value of 45 degrees plus 118 degrees multiplied by k. So what we can do, we can equate these two. So let's equate 2x minus 5 equals 45 plus 180 degrees multiplied by k. Okay, now what is the second step that we have to follow? We have to solve for the value of x. So let's rearrange this equation, and when you'll rearrange it, the value of x will come out as 25 plus 90k. So this is the value of x that will come out as when we'll rearrange this. Now, what is the next step that we have to find out? We have to find all the x values in this range, the range which has been given in the question. So what we are going to do, we are going to substitute the values of k as 1, 2, 3, 4, and we are going to find out the values of x for the values of k respectively. Okay, so let's first take the value of k as 0. Okay, so first case is that we are taking the value of k equals 0. So what will be the value of x when k equals 0? The value of x will be 25 degrees. Now just check whether the value of x is lying in the range which has been given to us in the question. So yes, 25 degrees will lie between 0 and 180 80 degrees. So this will be our answer. Okay, now let's check for k equals 1. Now when you'll substitute the value of k equals 1, so what is the value of x that you will be getting? The value of x will be 25 plus 90, so that will be equals to 115. So just check if this value is lying in the range that has been given. Yes, it is lying between 0 and 180 degrees, so we'll also take this value of x. Now let's take the value of k as 2. Now just check what is the value of x that you're getting for the value of k as 2. So it will be 25 plus 180. So what will be the answer? It will be 205 degrees. Now we have to check if 205 degrees is lying between 0 and 180 degrees. No, it is not lying between 0 and 180. So we are going to reject this value of x because it is outside our range. So we will stop here because for values of k as 3, 4, 5 and so on, the values of x will obviously be greater than 205, which is exceeding our range. Okay, so what is the final answer? What will be the values of x that we are going to get as our answer? So the value of x will be 25 degrees and 115 degrees. So these will be our final answer. Okay, now this was the first question that appeared in paper 1 of May 2024. Now let's move on to the second question. Now what is the second question? It is a 5 marker. Now you have an equation and you have to solve for the value of x. Okay, so we have to solve 3 multiplied by 9 raised to the power x plus 5 multiplied by 3 raised to the power x minus 2 equals 0. So what we are going to do, see, uh, first of all, we look at the equation, like just try to understand what the equation is telling you. Can we convert all of this equation to the base of 3? Yes, we can convert that. So what we are going to write, we are going to convert 9 raised to the power x in terms of 3. So when you'll write it in terms of 3, we know that we can write 9 as 3 square. So 3 square raised to the power x. So this will be 3 raised to the power 2x. Why we are doing this? We are doing this so we can convert this whole equation in terms of 3, in powers of 3, and then we can substitute to form a quadratic equation. Okay, so let's rewrite this with 9 raised to the power x written as 3 raised to the power 2x. So we'll write it as 3 multiplied by 3 raised to the power 2x plus 5 multiplied by 3 raised to the power x minus 2 equals 0. Now we have rewritten 9 raised to the power x as 3 raised to the power 2x. Now the next step that we are going to do is we'll do the substitution. Now what we are going to substitute, let's substitute y as, let's substitute 3 raised to the power x as y. So what we are going to substitute, let y equals 3 raised to the power x. So what will be the value of 3 raised to the power 2x if 3 raised to the power x is y? So the value of 3 raised to the power 2x will be y square. Why it will be y square? Because you can write it like this, 3 raised to the power x whole square, right? So 3 raised to the power 2x can be written as y square. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to substitute these values in this equation. Now when we'll substitute these values, we'll get a quadratic equation in y. So it will be 3y square plus 5y minus 2 equals 0. So this is a simple quadratic equation which you can solve, you can factorize it. So when you'll factorize it, you'll get two factors, 3y minus 1 and y plus 2 equals 0. So what is the value of y that you will get from here? So one value of y is 1 over 3 and the other value of y is negative 2. Okay, so we have solved for y, but see, we have substituted y equals 3 raised to the power x, and 3 raised to the power x will always be positive. So what we are going to do, this value will be rejected. So we'll reject this value because this is always positive. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to substitute 3 raised to the power x as 1 over 3. Now what is the value of x here? Can we find that out? Yes, we can find that out. The value of x will be negative 1. So x equals negative 1 is your final solution for this question. Okay, so have you understood how we manipulate the equation to form a quadratic equation so that we can solve for the respective variable? Okay, now let's take another question, which is question number 3 of paper 1. Now this is a 7 marker question and it is a bit lengthy, so you can quickly read out this question and then we'll try to solve it. Okay, so you have a quadrilateral given. So the quadrilateral is OAPC. It is shown on the set of axes, which is x and y axis, and it has been given that OABC is symmetrical about OB. So this quadrilateral is symmetrical about line OB. Now you have the coordinates of A, you have the coordinates of C. Okay, now the first part is that we have to write the coordinates of the midpoint of AC. Now it is very easy, the first part is very easy. We can quickly write out the coordinates of the midpoint of AC. We have the coordinates of A as 6, 0. We have the coordinates of C as 3, 3 under root 3. Now for finding out the midpoint, we know that how we can find the midpoint. So it will be 6 plus 3 over 2 and 0 plus 3 root 3 over 2. So what will be the midpoint? The midpoint will be 9 over 2 and 3 under root 3 over 2. So this is the midpoint of AC. Okay, we simply use the midpoint formula. Okay. Now, what is the second part? Hence or otherwise find the equation of the line passing through the points O and B. Okay, so since this is lying on the set of axes, x and y axis, so the coordinates of point O will be 0, comma 0. We have the coordinates of point A as 6, comma 0, and we have the coordinates of point C as 3, comma 3 under root of 3, right? Now, we have to find the equation of the line through through O and B. So we have to find the equation of the line passing through the points O and B. Now, since this figure is symmetrical about line OB, that line will pass through OB and the midpoint M, right? See, the figure is symmetric about the line OB. So the line for which we have to find the equation, it passes through O and the midpoint M, which we just found out in the previous part. So if we find out the slope, M of OM, we can find out the equation of this line. So let's find out the slope of OM. So the slope of OM will be 3 under root 3 over 2 over 9 over 2, because we have the coordinates of the point M. So what will be the slope? The slope will come out as under root 3 over 3. Now we have the slope of the line. We will use the equation of line, which is y equals mx plus c. Since there is no intercept, so what we are going to do, the equation of the line will be y equals under root 3 over 3x. So when you will solve this, you can simplify it and you can write x over root 3. So x is equals to root 3y. This is the equation of the line through through O and B. Okay, so this is how we'll solve the second part. Now, let's go to the next part, which is part B. Now, we are given that OA is perpendicular to AB. Now, we are given that OA is perpendicular to AB. We have to find the area of the quadrilateral OABC. Now, OA is along the x-axis and AB is vertical. Okay, now we have the coordinates of A. Now, can we say that since line AB is vertical, the x coordinate of B and A will be the same? Yes, B will have the same x coordinate as A. So we can say that B will have the same x coordinate as A, which is 6. Now we do not know what is the y coordinate of B, but we know that point B is lying on the line, this line. We know that point B is lying on this line, the equation of the line which we just found out in the previous part. So can we find out the y coordinate of B? Yes, we can find out the y coordinate of B. So the y coordinate of B will be under root 3 over 3 multiplied by 6. So this will be equals to 2 under root 3. So what will be the coordinates of B? The coordinates of B will be 6 comma 2 under root of 3. Now we have the coordinates of B. Now we have all the coordinates in order, right? We have all the coordinates of the quadrilateral in order. So the coordinates of O is 0, comma 0, A is 6, comma 0, B is 6, comma 2 root 3, and C is 3, comma 3 under root 3. Now, since the vertices are in order, can you find out the area of this quadrilateral? Now, area of the quadrilateral OABC. Now, just write in the comment section what will be the area of the quadrilateral OABC, and also explain how are we going to find the area of this quadrilateral when we have all the four vertices given with us. Okay, so whatever answer you get, you have to express it in terms of square units and also give an explanation like how you found out the area. So we'll meet in the next video where we'll be discussing the next 3 questions of this paper. And if you have any doubts, or if you have any doubts in any of the topics other than this, you can simply reach out. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye bye.